Chosen one. Have you felt like everything around you is shifting lately? You're exhausted for no reason. People are acting strange. Dreams are getting stronger. And time itself feels different. It's not in your head. It's divine alignment. God is risking everything right now to reveal the truth you've been praying to understand. He's separating, elevating, and activating His chosen ones. And that includes you. What you're feeling isn't chaos, it's confirmation. Heaven is preparing you for something massive. But before the blessing comes the warning. In this video, I'm revealing 5 hidden warnings from God that you must hear before your next breakthrough. Signs most people miss until it's too late. So don't scroll. Don't click away. Because if you're hearing this message right now, it's not an accident, it's divine timing. Stay till the very end, because the 5th warning will explain why everything suddenly starts moving too fast, and how to make sure you don't lose your blessing in the process. This is your wake-up call, chosen one. Let's begin. Chosen one. Lately, you've been feeling it. That deep, almost unexplainable exhaustion that sleep can't fix. Your body feels heavy, your emotions unstable, and your peace nearly impossible to protect. But hear this carefully. What you're experiencing is not burnout. It's a spiritual transfer. One of the most intense phases a chosen one will ever face before divine elevation. You see, when God prepares to lift you higher, He first begins a sacred process of removal. He starts detaching everything that was never designed to rise with you. People, habits, old versions of yourself, all begin to fall away. That's why your life may suddenly feel like it's breaking apart. But here's the truth. You're not breaking down. You're breaking open. Your system, mind, body, and soul, is releasing dense energy that can't survive where you're going next. The exhaustion you feel isn't weakness. It's your spirit recalibrating to a higher frequency, aligning with heaven's rhythm. This process is sacred but painful, because you can't carry old energy into a new chapter. You can't ascend with the same emotional weight you once carried in survival mode. So when you wake up tired, when you feel drained no matter how much you rest, understand this. Your spirit is doing battle while your body sleeps. Every night, you're fighting unseen wars, cleansing, releasing, ascending. That's why some mornings you wake up feeling like you've run a marathon in your dreams. You're not lazy. You're not losing motivation. You're simply going through a divine detox. And here's a truth most people will never understand. When your soul is being upgraded, the enemy always senses it first. It begins to attack through fatigue, confusion, and doubt. Because the enemy knows, if it can convince you to give up in exhaustion, you'll never reach the elevation waiting on the other side. So those moments when you whisper, "God, I can't take this anymore," that's not a breakdown. That's a birthing cry. Heaven hears it. And that's usually the exact moment divine intervention begins. Because when you've surrendered everything, when your ego collapses and your heart finally lets go, that's when God steps in fully. You think you're being punished, but really, you're being positioned. You think you're being emptied, but you're being refilled. You think you're losing people, but you're gaining purpose. This exhaustion isn't the end. It's the evidence of your upcoming breakthrough. So if you're in that stage right now, where your body feels drained, your heart is heavy, and your mind keeps saying, "Just rest for a bit longer," know this: you are not tired because you're failing. You are tired because you are transforming. You are shedding timelines, breaking ancestral patterns, and rewriting your spiritual DNA. The heaviness you feel is generations of energy releasing through you. And soon, when the transfer is complete, you'll wake up one day and feel different, lighter, sharper, aligned. Because that's the day the exhaustion ends and the empowerment begins. Chosen one. Don't quit during your transfer. Hold your faith through the fatigue. Because you're not losing strength. You're being charged with divine power. This is your spiritual handoff. God taking what no longer serves you and replacing it with a higher version of yourself. So breathe. The tiredness is temporary. The transformation is permanent. And when the shift is done, your glow will tell the story your words never could. You're not being punished. You're being prepared for your divine takeover. Chosen one. Have you noticed it? That strange, cold distance in the eyes of people who once smiled at you? The sudden silence in group chats, the side glances, the energy shift that you can't quite explain. At first, you questioned yourself. Did I do something wrong? Why are they treating me differently? But here's the divine truth. You didn't change. Your light did. When your spirit begins to upgrade, your energy starts to vibrate on a new frequency, and that frequency exposes what's hidden in others. People who were once comfortable around you start to feel uncomfortable. Your light begins to irritate the shadows they've been hiding behind. You see, when you were dimmer, they could pretend. They could mask envy as friendship, insecurity as support, and jealousy as love. But now that your energy is pure, your presence burns through every disguise. And not everyone can handle that illumination. This is why God allows exposure before elevation. He will reveal the truth about people before your breakthrough, because He refuses to let snakes slither into your new garden. Every betrayal you've faced lately was not a coincidence. It was a divine filter. Heaven is handpicking who can stand beside you in your next chapter. So when you notice relationships breaking, circles shrinking, and silence growing louder, don't panic. That's not rejection. That's redirection. God is saying, you're not losing your people. You're losing your distractions. It hurts, I know. The sting of disloyalty, the confusion of watching people you loved pull away. But that pain, that's the price of elevation. You can't rise while carrying the weight of those secretly rooting against you. You can't ascend surrounded by people who celebrate you publicly, but compete with you privately. So stop chasing what God is cutting away. Stop trying to prove your purity to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Your anointing reveals their demons. Your peace exposes their chaos. That's why they talk behind your back, roll their eyes, or withdraw without warning. You're not being punished, chosen one. You're being protected. Because what you don't see is the conversation happening in heaven. God saying, before I bless them publicly, I must cleanse their circle privately. And when He does, you'll notice this pattern. The more your light expands, the fewer people can stand in it. But that's okay. Because what's leaving is not loyal. It's limited. The ones walking away were never meant to see where you're going. They were assignments for your old season, not companions for your new one. Remember this: when light enters a dark room, darkness doesn't clap. It hides. It doesn't celebrate you. It runs from you. So let them leave. Let them misunderstand you. Let them whisper your name while you move in silence. Because soon, they'll see you rise, not through arrogance, but through divine purpose. And when that day comes, they'll realize they could have walked beside you, but chose to stand against you. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. Your light isn't a threat. It's a revelation. So lift your head, chosen one. Don't dim yourself to make others comfortable. Don't lower your frequency to match those still living in darkness. Keep shining. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Because the very people who doubted you today will one day say, "I always knew they were different." And you'll smile, not out of pride but gratitude, because you'll finally understand. God had to expose the fake before he could surround you with the faithful. You're not being rejected. You're being refined for greatness. Chosen one. Lately you've been seeing it everywhere. 11:11 on the clock, 222 on a license plate, 444 on a receipt. And maybe you've been dreaming the same dream again and again. At first you brushed it off. You told yourself, it's just a coincidence. But deep down, something inside you knew. This wasn't random, because it isn't coincidence. It's communication. You're being contacted by the divine. Heaven is sending repetitive messages because your soul has reached a frequency where you're finally ready to listen. See, when you're surrounded by noise, social media, stress, constant distractions, you stop hearing the whisper of spirit. So God changes his language. He starts speaking to you through patterns. Every repeating number is an encrypted message from the higher realms. 1111. The gate of manifestation is open. What you think now begins to form in reality. 222. Stay balanced. The storm you're in is temporary, but your alignment is eternal. 333. The ascended masters walk beside you. You are being guided. 444. You are fully protected. Angels are standing guard. 555. Change is not coming. It's already here. These aren't just numbers. They're coordinates guiding your soul toward divine timing. And when you see them, don't ignore them. Stop. Breathe. Ask, God, what are you trying to tell me right now? Because every synchronicity is a spiritual alarm clock, waking you up from the illusion that this world is all there is. You're not crazy for noticing these signs. You're awakening. And maybe you've also been dreaming vividly. Doors opening, floods washing through, falling endlessly or flying freely. Each dream is symbolic. Your subconscious decoding divine communication. Doors represent transition. Floods mean emotional cleansing. Falling is surrender. Flying is liberation. But here's the part most people don't realize. As your consciousness rises, your dreams will intensify. The veil between realms gets thinner, because the moment your spirit starts to awaken, the enemy senses it too. It tries to pull you back into confusion, nightmares, doubt, or emotional chaos. Anything to make you ignore the signs. That's why some nights you'll wake up at 3:33 a.m., the divine hour. Not from fear, but from activation. It's heaven saying, wake up, we're trying to talk to you. So instead of grabbing your phone and scrolling, do something sacred. Write down your dreams. Notice what you were thinking before you saw the numbers. Listen to the silence. Because what seems random is actually alignment. The universe is rearranging itself to communicate with you in the only language your soul can't ignore. Patterns, symbols, and energy. And when you start paying attention, you'll realize something beautiful. God never stopped speaking. You just stopped noticing. Every time you see a repeating number, feel a strange sense of déjà vu, or hear a song lyric that hits your soul like lightning. Pause. That's a divine nudge saying, you're on the right path. These are breadcrumbs leading you back home to your higher self. And once you follow them, your life begins to flow differently, effortlessly, intentionally, divinely. So, chosen one, the next time you see 1111, don't just smile and move on. close your eyes, say thank you, and know that heaven is confirming, we see you. We're guiding you. Keep walking. Because the question isn't whether God is speaking. He's been speaking all along. The real question is, are you still enough to hear him? Recently, you've probably felt something shift. Friends stop calling. Plans get canceled at the last minute. People who once couldn't go a day without you have suddenly vanished. It feels like the universe hit pause on everything that once felt alive. But here's the truth. This isn't punishment. It's divine protection. God is isolating you because he's about to reveal something massive, and he needs your full attention. When heaven has a message that could change your destiny, the first thing it does is remove the noise. Every distraction, every false friend, every situation that no longer serves your growth, gone. You see, the isolation is not rejection, it's redirection. Heaven knows that what's coming next in your life cannot be built on shaky foundations. That's why God is separating you, not to harm you, but to strengthen you. The silence around you isn't emptiness, it's sacred space. This is your divine training ground. The world may see your solitude as loneliness, but heaven calls it preparation. Because before every divine revelation comes a period of separation. Moses had to climb the mountain alone before God gave him the 10 Commandments. Jesus went into the wilderness alone before he began his mission. And now, it's your turn. This isolation season is your wilderness, not to break you, but to build you. You're learning to hear your own thoughts again. You're reconnecting with your spirit. You're realizing that peace doesn't come from people, it comes from presence. And yes, it feels strange. The phone doesn't ring like it used to. Your energy feels too sacred for crowds. You start craving silence more than conversation. That's not depression. That's transformation. You're not being ignored. You're being upgraded. Because when God hides you, it's never to abandon you. It's to anoint you. Think of the butterfly. Before it becomes something beautiful, it's trapped in a dark cocoon. It can't see the light, it can't move freely, and it can't rush the process. But within that stillness, a miracle happens. Wings are formed in silence. You're in that same divine cocoon right now. You're not stuck. You're being reshaped. Every unanswered prayer, every quiet night, every lonely morning, it's part of your rebirth. But here's where the danger comes in. The enemy loves to attack you during isolation. When the world goes quiet, the whispers of doubt grow louder. You'll start hearing thoughts like, God forgot you. You're not chosen. Nothing's working. That's not truth. That's temptation. Because the closer you get to your breakthrough, the louder the enemy gets. It's his last attempt to pull you back before your elevation. Don't fall for it. Don't let temporary silence make you question eternal promises. Remember this. When you feel the most alone, that's when heaven is the closest. God doesn't isolate you to punish you. He isolates you to prepare you. He's pulling you away from the crowd because your blessing isn't meant to be shared with everyone. Some people can't go where you're going. Some energies can't survive the altitude of your next level. This is why God had to close those doors. This is why some relationships suddenly ended. He's not taking things away from you. He's clearing your path for what's about to arrive. Because after isolation comes revelation. After silence comes sudden success. After tears comes transformation. Chosen one, the world may not understand what you're going through right now, but heaven does. You're in a sacred season, heaven's secret sanctuary, where destiny is rewritten in quiet moments. So don't resist it, don't rush it. Sit in the silence and let God speak, because soon Everyone who doubted you will witness what God was building behind closed doors. The spotlight is coming, but for now, enjoy the shade. It's where your roots grow deep, and when you finally emerge, you won't just step out, you'll soar. At first, everything felt stuck. You prayed, you waited, you tried to stay positive, but nothing moved. It was like life froze, no progress, no clarity, no direction. Then suddenly, without warning, everything starts happening at once. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. People who forgot you are reaching out. Money begins to flow from unexpected directions. Messages, meetings, invitations, all piling up so fast it almost feels unreal. This is what's called spiritual whiplash. It's the moment when heaven hits fast forward after a long season of silence. Everything that was delayed suddenly manifests, not slowly, but at light speed. Chosen one, this is your acceleration season. When God decides it's time, He doesn't move according to human logic. He moves in divine momentum. The blessings you thought were denied were actually being prepared. And now, the universe is aligning every piece at once. It's overwhelming because it's meant to be. You've waited, struggled, and cried long enough. Now heaven is saying, you're ready. But here's the hidden warning you must understand. When blessings come fast, distractions come faster. The same energies that tried to block your progress will now try to drain your power. As you rise, not everyone will clap. Some people will question how you got here. Some will disguise jealousy as advice. And others will try to attach themselves to your momentum, not to celebrate it, but to siphon it. That's why during this acceleration, you must protect your peace more than ever. Move in silence. Guard your plans. Don't announce every win. Let the results speak. This isn't the season to prove anything. It's the season to stay focused and grounded. Because spiritual whiplash is powerful, but it can also be disorienting. When everything starts moving too fast, it's easy to lose balance. That's why you have to slow your spirit, even while your blessings speed up. Take a breath. Pray before you say yes. And remember, not every opportunity is divine, and not every open door leads to destiny. This is heaven's greatest test. Can you stay humble when success comes quickly? Can you stay peaceful when everything accelerates? Because this next level requires a new version of you. Calm, centered, discerning. The universe isn't just rewarding you. It's trusting you. God is giving you acceleration, not because you're lucky, but because you've proven faithful in delay. You passed the waiting season, and now the reward is arriving in waves. You'll notice synchronicities everywhere. Angel numbers, repeating signs, people mentioning your dreams out of nowhere. These are confirmations that you're aligned with divine timing. Your manifestations are no longer waiting for approval. They're in motion. But remember, motion without direction can turn into chaos. That's why grounding is key. Keep your circle small. Keep your vision clear. Keep your heart clean. Because in this speed-up season, God wants you to enjoy what's arriving, not lose yourself trying to control it. This acceleration is sacred. It's the moment heaven says, they've healed enough. They've learned enough. Now they're ready. And when that divine go signal hits, your life shifts overnight. The job you couldn't get last year suddenly calls you back. The person who once doubted you now wants to work with you. The door that was locked now opens effortlessly. It won't make sense to your mind, but your soul will whisper, this is it. Because every heartbreak, every closed door, every delay, it wasn't wasted time. It was perfect timing. Your blessings didn't come late. They came when you became unbreakable. So breathe, chosen one. You're not behind. You're not losing. You're right on schedule. And now the universe is catching you up to everything you deserve. This is your spiritual whiplash, where slow turns to sudden, waiting turns to winning, and silence turns to sound. Everything that's meant for you is arriving in waves, and this time, nothing and no one can stop it. Chosen one. If you've made it this far, you already know, none of this was random. Every breakdown, every delay, every moment you felt forgotten, it was divine setup. You were never being punished. You were being positioned. Every sleepless night built your resilience. Every lonely season taught you to hear God's voice over the noise. And now, everything you lost, everything you cried for, is aligning in your favor. Because when heaven says, now, no force on earth can delay your destiny. What's coming next will confirm everything your spirit already knew. Yes, people left. Yes, doors closed. But look at you. You're still standing, wiser, stronger, sharper. You didn't break. You transformed. And this transformation wasn't meant to be quiet. Soon, the same ones who doubted you will say, "How did you do it?" And you'll simply smile. Because you'll know, it wasn't luck, it was alignment. So take this as your final message. Stop doubting your power. Stop questioning your timing. Stop thinking you're behind. You are exactly where you're meant to be. God is about to release what He's been preparing in silence. Your name is being mentioned in rooms you've never entered. Your blessings are in motion, and your purpose, the one you almost gave up on, is awakening right now. This isn't the end of your story, chosen one. It's the beginning of the miracle you were born to live.